if you are a fan of Hololive, a fan of VTubers, or a fan of card games in general, well then have I got a video for you. This one. So, Hololive, the prestige VTuber agency, has released an official trading card game. It's been out in Japan for quite a while, but it's finally coming to the US. The English version officially launches later this week on Thursday, July 11th. And I'm very excited. And actually, sorry, is it Friday, July 11th? I think is the actual day. But either way, I had the opportunity at Anime Expo to get a hands-on demo of the game and buy some product early. So I'm going to talk about some first impressions of the game, go through some unboxings here, and just kind of let you know if I think this game is worth investing in or playing. Ultimately, I think if you're a fan of Hololive, you're probably going to want to get some anyway. But for those of you who maybe only want to invest in really quality cards or only want to invest in games that you're actually going to compete in, this will hopefully be a nice little overview. And let me know in the future if you want me to do any kind of like how to play the game types of videos. So without further ado, I'm going to talk a little bit about what was at Anime Expo. First of all, there was a fun little kiosk. They had a really great booth, multiple booths actually, one of which was in the exhibitors hall and the other was in the entertainment hall. So the exhibit hall, you could get a variety of promo cards as well as buying actual product at their booth. You needed to get a ticket to get into the merch line. It was pretty crowded. I was ultimately able to get a time slot and get some merch later in the day, but I was there day one. I didn't want to miss out on any of the promo opportunities. But this is a really cool, just like giant Hololive card cutout. This is what the actual demo session looked like in the entertainment hall. They had a bunch of play mats that were signed by Hololive talent, primarily JP talent with a mix of, I think, some ID and EN. Most notably for me, I really loved the Fuamoko playmat. The Fuwawa one says, "Win for Fuwawa, okay?" So if that doesn't make you want to play the game, I'm not really sure what will. That was definitely pretty convincing for me. But you can see here, you can't get a full look at the board, but on the top right, you see the green deck is your main deck, which consists of 50 cards. That will be made up of your Holomem cards, which are basically like, think of them as your creature cards or whatever, but much prettier. You have like support cards, and I don't know what the term is yet, but like basically like item cards is the other thing that your deck is going to be made of. And on the actual playboard, on the top right, you have your hOCG card. Think of like a leader card in One Piece. It's a card that exists outside of your deck. You have one of it, and it's always on the board when you start the game. And then below it is essentially your bench. You can put down, I believe, up to 5 Holomem on the bench. Much like Pokemon, if your bench is empty and your active Holomem is knocked out, then the game is automatically over. So you definitely want to make sure that you have cards down there. And the most unique thing about this game is, besides being able to move Holo members to the active like in a Pokemon game, there's on the far left there is the collab spot. So you can actually take Holomem from your bench, move them up to the collab spot, and activate what's called their collab effect. And depending on which character it is, they interact differently with your active Holomem. So you get some really interesting interactions, and there's some really cool strategy there. Also kind of similar to like Magic. Once you have used the collab character's effect, they actually get tapped. So going into your next turn, that card gets moved from the collab spot back to your bench in a resting position, and you can't use that card. Also, like Magic, characters do have summoning sickness, so you can't attack the second that it's played down. But again, I'm not going to spend too much time on the mechanics, but just want to kind of give a brief introduction to what to expect from the game. I thought what was the most interesting besides the collab aspect is, if you look at the top right, next to the hOCG card and above the deck, you have your Holo Power spot. That is essentially, if you want to use your hOCG's ability, they have two different abilities. One is like Holo Power 1 and one is Holo Power 2. The basic one you can use as many times per game as you want, but you have to take one card from the top of your deck and put it in the hollow power zone. Uh, and oh, sorry, actually, if you want to collab, you have to put a card from your top of your deck into the hollow power zone. And then if you want to use a uh, hollow power one, you need to have at least one card already in your hollow power zone. Then that moves to your archive, which is your discard pile, and that's the cost of being able to activate. And each Oshi also has a Hollow Power 2, which is very similar to V-Star from Pokemon, which is you can only use it once per game. And in that case, you need two Hollow Power in your Hollow Power zone. So you have to move both cards into the archive for that cost, and you can only use it once. So there's a limited amount of usage there. And instead of having like your land or energy cards live inside the deck, on the far left there you can kind of see cut off. You have a separate deck of 20 cards called your cheer deck, and you can attach one cheer per turn, and that is the cost for all of your attacks, which is kind of nice because you can accelerate through your deck without having to like use up a draw on drawing into a cheer. You can get more cards that will help you move through your game plan. And then the top left, you have basically like your life points. You depending on your Oshi, some Oshis have like 5 life, some have 6. And you take those cards from the top of your cheer deck, put them there, and when your opponent takes a hit and you lose a life, instead of them gaining like a prize card or something similar from other games, that cheer card actually gets moved to one of your Hollow Mem. So it kind of helps you make a comeback where when you get hit, you get to accelerate cheer to your Hollow Mem characters. So I think that's kind of a nice balance to make it feel a little less like you're just getting mowed over when your opponent is in the lead. But yeah, those are kind of the big takeaways from the game. Overall, I had fun playing the demo. I felt that the demo could have maybe been a little better organized in the sense that player one, in the way that they kind of tell you what steps to make, player one has a big advantage. I don't know why they made it that way. I think they're maybe afraid that because player one is usually like too strong going first, that they tried to like use the game mechanics to show you what player two can do, but then they like still didn't compensate well enough for that. So like everyone that was on the player two side, which was including me, we all just felt like we were getting steamrolled. So I think they could have done a better job managing what that like the example turns could have been. But regardless, I think that the gameplay loop is pretty fun. And if you're someone who's played the Pokemon trading card game, it's going to feel very familiar to you. So while I was there, I was lucky enough to get the promo cards they had at Anime Expo. This is designed based off of the 2025 World Tour Synchronize. These are the 5 main hosts of that tour. They're playing later this year in New York, I believe at Radio Tower, or Radio City. I don't know the name of the venue. I'm sorry. I'm not a musician. But pretty cool. I got several. I normally would feel bad hoarding cards, but they had so many, and by day 4 they still had so many. So I ended up getting a play set for myself, and I also got some for friends and coworkers that are into the game and couldn't go. So I promise I'm not scalping. I'm trying to put them to good use. But very cool card. Very nice. Very grateful to be able to get these. I'm sure there's probably scalpers online reselling, but maybe they'll be available at other Hololive events in the future. With that said, I also have, while I was in Japan, I kind of got ahead of myself and I bought some things to play the game. So this is like a case that holds all of your little like damage points and like whether or not you've used your Oshi power. It's very similar again to like a V-Star marker. So I have all those here already. And of course, some Hololive specific dice ready to go. Now, let's talk about some of the other exclusives. Not super exciting, but this is what you get from playing the demo. There's only one card in here, and from my understanding, that one card is a common card. So I think I'm just going to leave it sealed. I'm sure I'm going to be opening plenty of common cards. So for me, this is more of like a kind of sentimental value rather than necessarily trying to open it for something rare. I don't know what that's going to look like on the like secondary markets, but there you go. Also, you get a little sticker sheet for playing the demo session. So you got Suisse and Kiara here. It looks like the Twitch chat is also super small, so I'm going to try making that a little bit bigger on the screen. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, so those are the freebies, and as I mentioned, there was a pre-sale there, so I went ahead and got a starter deck. I already have one on pre-order, and I already have 2 more booster boxes on pre-order as well. But you know, I was there. It's cheaper than having to pay for shipping. I wanted the fun of being able to open something early, so we're gonna start with the starter deck because you know that makes sense. So this is the Tokino Sora and hOCG starter deck. They actually are together in one deck. It's not 2 separate decks. That might be confusing if you're not familiar, but that is how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and get this open. I don't have any tools nearby that I should have had nearby to get rid of the tape. But wait. Don't worry, I found scissors. Okay, we are cooking. Now, if you didn't get a chance to go to Anime Expo, you can download the Bushiroad app. There's a bunch of demo sessions going on around the country. Unfortunately, where I'm at, they don't have any. They do have official tournaments coming up, so I will be participating in one this upcoming weekend. I might share some updates after that and kind of share my experiences here. But yeah, be on the lookout for those. I'm sure that there'll be some kind of exclusives with those as well. So we got the box open. We got Sora here. Very shiny right away. Very nice card. And it comes with some damage markers and your little like hOCG skill marker. Like I said, I already bought the set of like the kind of like more plastic ones, but these are handy for getting started with the game. Go ahead and open that. Even though this is cardboard, it actually feels kind of nicer than the ones you normally get with starter decks. It's got a little bit of thickness to it, which I like. So not bad. Definitely solid for a starter deck. Comes with just like a how to play book, as you would expect. And it comes with a play mat, so you can get a better sense of the board. So I'll just kind of quickly open that since we were looking at the Japanese playmat at for my demo picture. You can see here you have your stage, which is like functions like a bench. You have your center position, your hOCG position, collab position, your life, cheer deck on the bottom right, hollow power deck, and your archive. And then it also kind of reminds you at the bottom here about the different phases of the game. So it's pretty handy. Nothing super special otherwise. It's what you would expect from a starter deck playmat, but always helpful to have. But let's go into the deck itself. So pretty nicely boxed here. It's like got our big brick. So I think what we can assume is I can already kind of see a slight color difference here. One of these is probably the cheer deck, while the other is going to be your main deck. So let's get this seal off here. And there's what the back of the main deck cards look like. I believe the back of the cheer cards are white. Also, if you've noticed my Sarah's Fauna playmat, this is from her, I think it was her birthday merch. I didn't want to open it because it's pretty rare, so it's still in the plastic. Maybe for future streams I'll open it, but I'll keep getting other playmats. So yeah, so you can see here the different color backings. That'll help indicate what cards are going where. The hOCG card is also on a white backing because that doesn't go inside your deck. So this is the hOCG card that comes with this deck. Like I said, it's Tokino Sora. Really nice shimmer on this. I like the holo on that a lot, actually. It's very nice. We're just going to put her over here for now. Oh, it looks like it comes with another hOCG card as well. That's cool. So it does include hOCG, so that you can play the same deck 2 different ways, which is really cool because they both have their own, unique effects. So I actually really like that. I only expected there to be one like hOCG card. So that's pretty cool. Especially since I'm getting a second one. I'll probably want to build two using the same cards and having one built around hOCG and one around Sora. So that's really nice. Now, the cheer deck, you can see here, much like land or energy, you have different colored cheer. I believe for hOCG, she uses the green cheer primarily, and Sora uses the white cheer. And this deck consists of 20 cards. So you'll want to sleeve these in a different color from your main deck so you don't get them confused. Same thing with the hOCG cards. But yeah, first look at those. Now let's go through the starter deck proper. So you got your debut card. And think of this like your basic monster card. Debut cards can be played down onto your stage or in your active position, center position, without a cost. And each debut card has the ability to bloom. So you can go from debut to like first, I think it goes up to 2 maybe. We'll see. We'll make our way through. But we have our 4 Tokino Sora debut cards. You can have up to 4 of the same card in a deck. This one's really nice. This is another debut Sora. Slightly different ability and attack. You can see this one doesn't have any kind of collab effect on it. This one does. Its collab effect is during this turn, your center HoloMem gets arts plus 20. So your arts are your attacks basically. So it's giving it plus 20 power when it's in the collab space. So not bad. We actually get 3 of these debut in the holo. So that looks very nice. And then your debut Soras can bloom into your first. I don't know if there's a better name for it, but for now it just says first in the corner, so that's what we're going with. We got some glossy ones here too. We've got some debut Iris. Her effect is actually really interesting from what I saw in the demo session. So her collab effect is, look at your holo power, reveal 1 card from among them and add it to your hand. Then put 1 card from your hand as holo power. Basically what that means is, as I was describing earlier in the gameplay, you have to take a card from the top of your deck and put it face down in your holo power area. So you don't know what that card is, but it's going to be your cost to use your hOCG's holo power. What Iris lets you do is look at your holo power, see what cards are in there that are missing from your deck, and you can swap a card from your hand with the one that's in there if you'd rather have that card. So it adds a lot more flexibility to what you're doing in case you put a card in your holo power zone that you could really use, or if your hand's just not that great and you just really want any other card. So that's pretty nice. Only 2 copies for in the starter deck, but if you buy a second starter deck, you could put 4 copies in one. And then we're going to move on from Sora to hOCG. So we got 4 debut hOCG here. Got some nice holo on these debut hOCG. This one also has a collab effect. So you may roll dice once. If it is 4 or less, send the top card of your cheer deck to your back HoloMem. Then if it is 1, you may move this HoloMem to the back position. So basically, if you get Snake Eyes, which is really Snake Eye or Snake Eyes with an eye patch, if you get 1, you can after you use its effect, it just goes back to the stage. So it doesn't have to deal with the whole like going back into rest at the end of your turn. So that's like hitting the jackpot there. It also just is a way to accelerate cheer to your other HoloMem. Is this Pokemon? No. No, it is not. It is legally distinct. Let's go ahead and put that down. Got some more first hOCG, which your other hOCG can bloom into. We got some nice holo on the second stage hOCG. Very nice. I'm going to clean up the board here a bit. It's too many HoloMem. Okay. Good enough. Do I have really faint background music? Or are you crazy? No, I do have really faint. Is it like too faint? I just didn't want it to be super boring or have it be extremely loud. So if it needs to be slightly louder, I can do that. So here's some more debut Holomem. I believe she's with the Hololive Indonesia group, so that's really cool. You're getting kind of a variety of EN, JP, and ID in the starter deck. It's a little too faint. All right, let's pump up the jams on my 12 hours of copyright-free music I downloaded right before the stream. Hope you guys can jam out to that. This is very cute. In the Sora hOCG deck, you have I guess this is their like collab name, Soraz. That sounds really bad. Like you have a Soras. They should have. I don't know if they thought that one through. Maybe they did. Knowing them, they maybe thought that was funny. This is really pretty. It's got a holo in there too, and you got the two of them together. They function a little differently. Now we have spot cards. So Amane Kanata here is a spot card. And I don't fully understand the difference between spot and debut. I believe they function the same way as debut, where you can just play them down immediately, but they cannot bloom. I believe that's what the difference is. So we have the 3 Amane here, and then we got one, another spot card, but she actually has a pretty great collab effect where if she is collabing with Sora, you get to draw one card from your deck. If she's collabing with hOCG, you send the top card of your cheer deck to your center Holomem. So you're either going to accelerate draw power or cheer. So pretty great card for this kind of build. Again, seems it only comes with one in the starter deck, so I have a feeling you might want more of that if you're building something out with your starter decks. So now that we've gone through all of our Holomem, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. We're going to move into talking about some of the support cards that come with this deck. So the cards on the support side will tell you explicitly that you can only use them once per turn. There's some cards that you can play more than that, so you just want to make sure that you are paying attention to that while you're making your way through your hand. Another interesting thing about the game is, much like in Pokemon, how you need a basic Pokemon in order to start the game, you need a debut Holomem in your hand to start the game. But when you mulligan, your opponent doesn't get to draw any extra cards. You just get like one less card if you have to shuffle and draw again. So it kind of gives you a little more leniency. I've always liked that mechanic when it comes to mulligans. Okay, so got our first supporters here, which are marked as staff. So I guess I think most staff cards are limited to one per turn. Then you have item cards that are not limited. And then same with events, they don't seem limited either. So first we've got Harusaki Nautica. She's basically like Pot of Greed, but better, because you get to draw 3 cards from your deck. No downsides. So this game seems pretty draw heavy. Drawing 3 cards from your deck, and you can have up to 4 copies of this in your deck, sounds kind of crazy if you've come from other card games, but probably within the context of this game, I'm sure it's not a big deal, or it'll get, limited or something in the future. Then we've got Manager-chan. Manager-chan. This card can only be used if you have 1 or more cards in your hand, excluding this card. Return all the cards from your hand to the deck and shuffle it, then draw 5 cards from your deck. So it's basically just a way to refresh your hand. I'm sure that's going to come in handy. You've got an item card, normal PC, where you can reveal a debut Holomem from your deck, place it on the stage, and shuffle your deck. So that's just a way to search for your Holomem. Sub PC, this one you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal 1 limited support card from among them and add it to your hand, then return the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. So this one feels a little bit more situational because you're reliant on the top 5 having, one of these in it since they're the limited ones. But I'm sure there's some value to that. Oh, we actually do have a limited item. So this is Amazing PC. You can only use this once per turn. This card can only be used if you archive 1 cheer from your stage. So since this says from your stage, I assume that means you have to archive a cheer from one of your Holomem. So you're going to be losing that if you're trying to power up for an arts attack in a turn. So that's going to be your trade-off. But you can reveal a first or second Holomem, so those are like your Bloom Holomem, from your deck and add to your hand. So you're trading off Cheer for being able to level up your Holomem. Then we've got Circle of Hololive Listeners. Roll a dice once. If it is a 3 or greater, send 1 Cheer from your archive to your Holomem. So, hey, I mean, you can use that in tandem with Amazing PC. You lose that 1 Cheer, get it right back. As you can see, this game is very reliant on dice roll, so there is that RNG element to it. So if you're not huge on like RNG in your card games, which, I mean, all card games are RNG to an extent, but some more so than others, this one seems to have a fair bit of RNG to it. And then lastly, from this starter deck, we've got this limited card, First Gravity. So it can only be used if you have 6 or less cards in your hand, excluding this card. You can look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal any number of Tokino Sora and or hOCG from among them, and put the revealed Holomem into your hand. Then return the rest of the bottom of the deck in any order. That's kind of nice that you don't have to like shuffle your entire deck. You can kind of, if there's cards there that aren't going to be super helpful, they just go to the bottom of your deck, and you'll be drawing fresh cards after that. So yeah, so that's a first look at the starter deck. I'll say right away, like I said, for my first impressions of playing the game, I think it's pretty fun. I think it is very similar to the Pokemon trading card game. It does have its unique features about it, which I really like the Holo Power and collab mechanics. I'm hoping in the future, as they put out new expansions, that they continue to explore other mechanics to help make this game stand out. But for now, I think they've got a strong start, and I'm really excited to see where it goes from there. Kind of note on the cards themselves. Like I said, so far, I really do like the holo on these cards. It feels pretty high quality. It's very pretty. A lot of the art in this game is like recycled from other assets that you've seen in other Hololive things, but I do know that the game has original artwork as well. So that's kind of similar to like a lot of like Bandai Namco games and Bushiroad games in general. But I would say like the card quality itself, it's not bad, but it's definitely a thinner card than say like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh. It's not, I don't necessarily want to say it's cheap, but it definitely doesn't feel like the same thickness of cardboard or paper stock or whatever you want to call it that they use. So it feels slightly less premium in that regard. It's a really minor detail, I think, and especially once you sleeve your cards, you're not going to know the difference. It's not going to matter. So I think besides that, it's kind of how I feel overall about the game. So whether I think it's worth it, personally, I think if you're kind of on the fence about it, I think it's fair to kind of wait and see how the game evolves. But I think if you're someone who's into this type of trading card game, it's a lot of fun. It's got a clever gameplay loop with being able to kind of collab in different ways and getting different effects. And because of the comeback system with the life giving you extra cheer to your Holomem, I think it has a lot of potential to really bloom. Sorry, that was awful. Bloom into a really solid strategic game. So we'll see how it goes from there. But I would say, especially if you're a fan of VTubers or Hololive, you might as well just get a starter deck and try it out. Find people to play with. And it seems like they're already really big on the organized play side of things. So I'm sure you can find local events and check it out and see if it's your jam. But I know I'm going to be giving it a shot. So that's my personal recommendation. And now we get to the really fun part, which is opening our first booster box.